Welcome everyone. Today I'm going to explain how the return to home actually works for DJI Spark. DJI Spark's return to home functionality is very confusing at first glance. However, in an emergency situation, it is essential to know what is going to happen if you press the RTH button and the aircraft decides to initiate return to home, which can happen because of the loss of signal between your controller and the aircraft, or because of low power level of your battery. But don't worry, I will explain in detail, and I will provide you a printable PDF which you can print and use as a reference until you learn the process. So let's start. When talking about the return to home process, the key differentiator is the current distance from the home point. Let's assume it is closer than 3 meters. In this case, the aircraft will land where it is currently. Since it is so close to the home point, it makes no sense to move anywhere. In case of the distance is more than 3 meters, things get complicated. Between 3 and 20 meters, the behavior depends on the setting called RTH at current altitude. If it is disabled, which is the default by the way, then the aircraft will land wherever it is, just like in the previous case. However, if RTH at current altitude is enabled, then it will go home and land there. But first it will check its current altitude, and if it is below 2.5 meters, then it will ascend first. If the current altitude is higher than 2.5 meters, then it will stay at this altitude and then go home. Is it clear? Hope that you can still follow me. It might sound too complicated, but trust me, it makes sense, and you can learn this process quite quickly. So let's see what happens if the actual distance is more than 20 meters when the return to home is initiated. Now the software checks the other option that can be found in the main controller settings. This is the return to home altitude. If the current altitude is less than this so-called fail-safe altitude, then the aircraft will ascend first, then go home. As you can now guess yourself, if the current altitude is higher than the return to home altitude, it will not descend, but it will maintain its current altitude while returning to home. Last but not least, keep in mind if the distance is above 100 meters, then obstacle avoidance will be automatically disabled during the travel to home. This is necessary to ensure that it can arrive to home before the battery completely depletes. Without obstacle avoidance, it can travel faster and it consumes less power. So that's all. Hope this makes sense. Do not forget to download and print the guide. The link can be found in the description below the video. If you think it was useful, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Have fun with your drone.